and today I wanted to read and discuss some Bible verses that talk about the importance of boundaries and discernment. Um, First one we'll be reading is Romans chapter 12, verses 1 through 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Um, this verse kind of also reminds me of the verse about like guarding your heart and mind with what you watch and what you see and what you hear and stuff. And yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna move on to the next verse that we'll be reading, and that is um um we'll be reading verses 9 through 11. Um oh, I will also read verse 8 also. This is a faithful saying, and these things I want you to affirm constantly, that those who have believed in God should be careful to maintain good works. These are good and profitable to men, but avoid foolish disputes, genealogies, contentions, and striving about the law, for they are unprofitable and useless. Reject a divisive man after the first and second ad- admonition, knowing that such a person is warped and sinning, being self-condemned. Um, like that kind of talks about like using discernment with like the people you are in company with and situations. Um, um, and I also wanted to return to a passage that we had read in Revelations that um talks about this. Um, and to the angel of the church in Pergamos write these things. He who has the sharp two-edged sword. I know your works, and where you dwell, where and I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, and you hold fast to my name, and did not deny my faith, even in the days in which Antiphus was my faithful martyr, who was killed among you, where Satan dwells. But I have a few things against you, because you there there those who hold a doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed to idols, and to commit sexual immorality. Thus, you also have those who hold the doctrine of Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. Repent, or else I will come to you quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat, and I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written, which no one knows except him who receives it. Um, and another, I can't quite remember the specific verse, but it was a passage that talked about eating of meat that might have been, that they didn't know if it was sacrificed or not. Um, and I get talked about how, like, if you feel that way, you shouldn't. But if there are younger, if you feel like eating, that's okay. But if, like, you're doing it but you shouldn't do it in the presence of younger people who are younger in their faith, because it might be a stumbling block for them. Um, I am really enjoyed this, like, studying these Bible verses and discussing them. Um, with that being said, may God be with you. See you next time. Bye.